You're
Um,
welcome.
we continue. It was also great that Marcelo pointed at the system, and that's also the topic of the next presentation. So we're happy to have with us Martín Behar, who is the Director of Research and Environment of Spanish Solar PV Association, UNEF, and they have come up with a really interesting certification scheme for sustainable solar power plants, and he will share with us his experiences. Martin, welcome. There you are.
Hello, 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 Michael. How are you?
Hi. All good.
Morning.
The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. I'll share my screen. Just 1 second. Um, mhm. There it is. There it is. Can you see it?
Yeah, just move to presentation mode, and that is everything's fine.
There. It should be fine.
Yep,
Okay.
all good.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Michael. Thank you very much to TaiyangNews for inviting me. Thank you to Santoshi. My name is Martin Behar. I'm the Director of Research and Environmental Affairs at UNEF. We are the leading PV organization in Spain. We represent around 90% of the PV sector. We are not developers, but we are the umbrella organization, let's say, of all the value chain of PV in Spain. We represent small power plants, energy communities, self-consumption, big power plants, installers, and our work is basically to collaborate and to develop the industry, to collaborate with ministries and national associations, but also with international associations, and to try to push forward the market as much as possible. During the last years, Spain became one of the top 10 markets in the world. We are the second market in Europe, and we have experienced uh, uh, an exponential growth of the last during the last around 5 years. We have installed around 6 megawatts per year, which is quite a lot. So we are conscious that ground-mounted plants will bring some benefits, some good things per se, as there is no human interaction, there is no mechanical interaction. And here in Spain, we don't use herbicides or pesticides, which is very good for fauna and flora. So we know that these are already things that are going to improve the soil, but we wanted to go a step farther because we didn't want it to leave it in a good way, but we wanted to make things excellent. So we developed this tool, which is an environmental seal of excellence, and sorry, and we didn't do it alone. We developed it collaboratively with around 30 experts over 1 year. So we've been working with developers and with all our members. We work also with external associations. So we work with CEO BirdLife, Greenpeace, Ecologistas en Acción, Friends of the Earth, and Worldwide Fund, which are the five leading environmental associations present in Spain. And we try to develop this to design projects to create a positive long-term impact. We didn't want it to be only in the construction phase, but we wanted to have a long-term engagement with environmental, which would have a good environmental impact, good impact for the people who are living in the municipalities where the power plants are installed, and with local authorities. So we developed these seals not only for Spain, but we wanted to promote it beyond because we believe that this is good not only for the environment but also for civil society and for the sake of PV. So this is a certification that we did. Well, what we did is to set up four criteria, let's say, on socioeconomical impacts of the power plants, on the integration of sustainability and biodiversity protection within the plants, on circular economy and governance. I want to focus mainly on the environmental impacts and the socioeconomical impacts, as I believe this is the most interesting for this session. And well, I'll explain a little bit how are we framing this, because as we know, there is no common there are no common good practice, but we wanted to focus on the limiting factor of the nature, so the biodiversity can give a step forward and be improved within the power plant. So in the environmental effects, we worked mainly with location, which is something that is very positive. We ask developers to avoid completely to install ground-mounted PV plants in protected areas, and to have a view that won't have a negative impact, but we try to ask them to take their power plants to places where it's not where they have not that much of an impact. Let's say if they need to remove trees and so on. Well, we try to avoid all that. We do have a sort of criteria on also on fencing. We ask developers to put a fencing that it would be easy for the animals to pass through it, so we are not fragmenting the habitats, and we are asking the developers to install pollinators around the fencing or surrounding the ground-mounted plant in order to create a green like a green screen, you know, to reduce the impact, the visual impacts, but also we ask them to do it with pollinators, so it can be beneficial for the biodiversity, for local biodiversity. Also, within the power plant, we work with renaturalization with some measures. As I was saying, first of all, we ask them to make a previous study on the nature that is available and to work on the limiting factor of how to develop these species. This is to say, to install nest boxes, shelters, ponds. Ponds is one of the things that is working the best, to be honest. It's very important not to change well, to use the water that is available and not to make something different from what it was before. But this measure is working really, really well. We also ask for insect hotels and so on. All the measures that will create a food chain in order to foster this kind of species. Also, we have some criteria on topsoil and on the soiling. We have also criteria on the occupation of the panels within the space of the power plant, the evacuation lines, and so on. On the socioeconomical side, we work with we ask the developers to step forward, to try to talk with local communities beforehand, to give transparency and good information before the project is being developed, to go to local authorities and speak directly with them to see what they need, what are their needs, because we want to create a long-term engagement with them, and so there are a lot of measures that we are pushing through this seal, such as local job creation, community benefits, the training. We ask developers to propose specific training, which should be promoted by the municipalities in order to live this within the territories. Also, we want to create an impulse of the local economy. So we are asking the developers to hire local companies and to create this value, this extra values that could be that could bring something to the communities. So not only we are not only framing the early dialogue with local governments and civil society, but also we are asking the developers to avoid the expropriation of the power plants, as this won't help with social acceptance, of course. And we ask them to develop collaboration agreements with both social, uh, civil society, and local governments. Okay, we also have some criteria on circular economy that it's more closely to the phase of construction and maintenance of materials, not only in the phase of construction, but also in the recycling, the posterior, the posterior phases, the waste management, and so on. So it's not only us that is doing this. We count with 2 independent certifiers that are asking for all the informations to the developers, and they have 2 stages. First, they verify all the information on the paper, and then they go directly to the power plants to see that everything is being done, and it's on practice the same way that it was in the paper. Yeah, so we check that out. Well, it's not us; it's the independent certifiers who do it. We work with SGS and A plus. And this give a little bit of this make the seal stronger, as well. It's not only us who is saying so. At the moment, we have around 5.6 gigawatts of power plants that are being certified. This means that we have knowledge and we have information from around 6.5 gigawatts of good practices. We can give this seal not only for ground mounted that are in operation, but also under development. You can see the numbers in the slide that I have right in front of me. So these seals keep on going, keep on growing, and well, this is open to any developer that wants to do it. It's in our webpage. You can find all the information on the webpage, all the details on the criteria that we are asking for. And it's only in Spanish, but you can also translate with any of the tools that are online. So this is well, this is completely open and transparent. So since 2021, we have been doing, since 2020, we have been doing this. And since 2021, we have investigated how is this impacting in bird life, because it's the main issue that we had in Spain. And we found really interesting results. We found that the measures that we are taking within the power plants are making that protected species are also having living the life within the power plants, even for steppe birds, as we thought that the steppe birds were not liking this the PV power plants. Like as you can see, the little bustard or the stone curlew, that are 2 steppe birds that were supposed not to like the PV plants, but we managed to make them happy within that. So we found greater richness in the other plants. We found that a notable presence of birds of prey due to the food change that we created. So this means that it's working quite well. And we made a study of that compare a control area outside the power plant, and we make the comparison within the plant of species and number of species. We found that there is very similar numbers. Normally, there are larger numbers within the power plant than outside, and what we have seen is that when we walk around the power plants, or most of the species run into the power plant because they feel safer. Of course, there are no hunters, there is no human interaction, and there are measures that are fostering this kind of species. So normally they run away inside the power plant, which is quite nice. I wanted to focus on a good practice, for example, in Talayuela. Yeah, this is the province of Cáceres. Statkraft has a very nice project over there. They installed some ponds to reduce heat and dryness during the summer session, which is giving really good results. They have observation towers to census bird population. They have installed reptile shelters as well for photovoltaic within the photovoltaic plants. That again is it's fostering the food chain for, as I said, for birds of prey. They have installed hotels of insects. They have also put nest boxes for some specific birds that are around, and this is working quite well. On the governance side, I wanted to point out another specific example in Totana, in Murcia, a power plant from Enel Green Power. They have reached agreements with the city council where they employed around 100 people out of the 350 workers. So 100 out of 350 are locals. There is another example in Núñez de Balboa in Extremadura that around 1,000 people from the local from the province, that province, were employed in order to build up the plant. This is the kind of project that we are looking for and that we are pushing for. Yes, something that is living, projects that are living an added value on this. They also have work on training for employment, for unemployment, and for the unemployed, and subcontracting of local services to local companies. They also work very well on the information and transparency beforehand, which where they did open days events with around 200 attendees, and they collaborate with local groups, and well, as we were asking in the framework of our seal of excellence. They install self-consumption for public goods, such as here I believe it's this they donate these solar panels for a center of intellectual disabilities in Totana. But there are other examples as well where companies will set up self-consumption for public libraries or for public swimming pools, and these are the sort of projects that we are looking for. In Totana, they also work with agrovoltaics, so they allow local farmers to keep on doing their activities within the power plant. This is very integrative, and this is what we are promoting. On the socioeconomical criteria, I think, well, we did have a lot of information, but last year we did a specific study on what are the impacts of power plants, what are the impacts that we are promoting through these power plants in the rural areas, and how this is what is the effect of what we are promoting. And we find out some very interesting things. For example, we found that demography is growing from 3 to 7% in the municipalities that are receiving these investments. This study, we made it isolating the effects of the power plant within the municipalities. We didn't do it in a broad way, but we wanted to be very specific. Yeah? So we isolated all the impacts of the power plants within the municipalities, and these are the media of the impacts that we found. We found that business are increasing in around 2% in the municipalities where the power plants are being installed. The per capita income increased in around 1%. Public finance, this is very conservative because we know that it's over this amount, but public finances, the average increase of public finances on the municipalities is of around 11%. We have some particular examples where we can see the increase of public finance in about 30% of the budget of the municipality, which is very, very interesting. If they can do something interesting with this money, if the local mayors can have enough information and they can manage, they can build up strategies in order to have to improve the quality of life of all these all the inhabitants of these municipalities. Finally, to wrap up, we have developed a new seal, which is the seal of excellence on storage, not only on power plants, but also on storage, because we know that the future of photovoltaics will pass through installing as well this storage. So we added one more criteria. There is industrial security, which have criteria of excellence in this sort of security for fires. We included measures to reduce noise, measures to reduce the visual impacts, etc. If you are interested, everything is in our web page. So I want to leave it here so I can leave a little bit of room for questions and answers. I saw that someone wrote in the chat. So
Wonderful, Martin. That's amazing what you did. I wish you that a lot of countries and companies continue to participate in this scheme, in this project. Wonderful. Can we, because we're quite a bit delayed, I think it would be great if you could answer the questions in the chat. Is that possible?
yes, no problem. Yes.
Ah,
I will write them down. No problem.
I also have one, and I also write mine in there, and then we continue here. Thanks again.
Okay.
I understand you have to leave soon, but thanks again for this wonderful presentation. So if anyone who has questions, please put it into the chat. Thanks, Martin.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.